Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dana Brez and I'm a travel blogger based in New York City, and my YouTube channel is all about traveling and New York City. And today is super exciting because I have been waiting for this day for so long. I am flying from New York to Rome, and I thought I would document the journey. So because I've received so many different questions about how Americans can actually travel to Rome for summer 2021, I decided to do this video to basically vlog my experience and show you guys what the airport is like, what documents you need to bring, everything that you need to know essentially to get into Italy. I'm a little nervous too because I feel like there's so many different things you have to do. Everything is ready though. We have all our documents printed out and everything. So I'll get into the video and tell you some pre-requirements before your flight to Italy. Alright, so even before you get on your flight to Italy, you need to book a specific flight called a COVID tested flight. And currently there are a few airlines in the US that operate this direct flight from the US to Italy. And those airlines are United, American, Delta. If you book your flight on those airlines and it is a direct flight from the US to Italy, only operating airports in Italy are Milan and Rome. That is a COVID tested flight. For example, you can't book a flight from New York to London and then transfer in London and then go to Italy. It has to be directly from the US to either Milan or Rome airport. These flights have gotten pretty expensive in the past couple of weeks. So if you are planning and want to go to Italy this summer, be sure to book your flights as soon as possible because the prices are going up. So once you book this COVID tested flight, there will be different requirements per airline. So be sure to check the airline that you are flying. I am flying American Airlines today. So I will be showing you the process of what American Airlines does for these COVID tested flights. And even if you are vaccinated, you do have to follow these specific rules to enter these COVID tested flights. So the first requirement is you need to get a COVID test 48 hours before your departure from New York or wherever you are departing in the US. So we got our COVID tests yesterday, actually. We went to Bellevue Hospital and they only offer PCR tests, and the results came back within 24 hours, which is pretty fast for a PCR. So we got our PCR tests yesterday. We got our results this morning. Be sure to print out your COVID test results, as you will need this at the airport. They will need a hard copy specifically. And another tip for getting your COVID test, I learned this the hard way when I went to St. Lucia, is that not all COVID tests are created equal. So basically, your COVID test needs to have your name, your date of birth, when your sample was taken, when your results were administered. They need to know these details because some COVID results are very basic. I went to a clinic by my house and my results just said negative and the date that they were negative. They had no information about when I got my COVID test, etc., or even my birthday. And I almost did not get on my flight to St. Lucia because they were gonna deem that result as inaccurate or just not a real test result. Thankfully, they did accept it, but I know of stories where they don't accept these kind of test results. So be sure results kind of have those specific information on them. It'll save you a lot of headache at the airport, and you don't want to miss your flight. That is the worst fear that I have, is missing my flight for some information like that. And then the second thing is that you need to fill out an EU passenger locator form. I will leave a link in the description box for that. And PS, these rules might change, you never know. So these are the rules right now. Today is June 10th, 2021. So this is for summer Italy travel. This information may change in the coming days, weeks, or months. So you need to fill out the EU passenger locator form. I will leave that link in the description box. Basically, they ask you different information about where you're staying, where you're going. Once you complete that form, you will be receiving an email with a QR code. Be sure to print that information. It's really, really important that you print it out. You also need to fill out another form. It is basically saying that you will get a COVID test once you arrive in Italy. They say that they charge 20 euros for this once you arrive in Italy. Basically, this form is very simple. It just tells you that you are going to get a COVID test and that you're agreeing to getting a test once you arrive in Italy. On this form, you'll actually see the exact flights that are COVID tested. So basically, it's triple confirmation that the flight that you're entering is a COVID tested flight. My flight showed up when I picked that day that I was arriving, and it was all good. So besides those 3 entry requirements, Americans can enter Italy. Even if you are vaccinated, you still need to go through this whole process of getting tested before your flight and once you arrive in Italy. So to sum it up, before I head off to the airport, I'm talking so fast because we leave for our flight in 45 minutes. You need to book a COVID tested flight. These are direct flights from the US to Rome or Milan on airlines such as United, American, or Delta, then you need to take a COVID test 48 hours prior from departure. And then you need to fill out your passenger locator form and fill out a COVID test that you will receive a COVID test. So those are 2 links I will leave in the description. And I'm headed off to the airport. So let's see how this goes. So upon arriving in Italy, I did speak to a few people that flew Delta, and they were telling me that they had to get a COVID test 48 hours before their departure into Rome, and it had to be a PCR test. Rapids were not accepted, and they were also tested once they were at the airport, and they needed more than 3 hours to go through the whole process. It was pretty messy when they were. So for American Airlines, we did not have to get another test at the airport, so I think this is just a Delta thing. And even though the Italian government does accept rapid tests to enter, it depends on the airline that you are flying. Some airlines only accept the PCR tests, where others can accept rapid. So double check your airline and see if they accept PCR or rapid. To be on the safe side, I would just get a PCR if you can get your results back within 48 hours, just to be on the safe side. All right, we have made it through checking our bags. That took about, I would say, 30 to 45 minutes. It took extra long for everyone to check in their bags because a lot of the flights leaving today are international and each country has their own requirements. So for Rome, it was the COVID test and the passenger locator form and the COVID test upon arrival form. Just those 3 forms they need to have. And to expedite that whole experience, it's really great to have all your documents printed by person, highlight the information that they need to see. We were behind the gate for like 5 minutes, whereas other people were behind the gate for 30 minutes. So having all your paperwork ready to go will really save you a ton of time at the airport, so you can hang out with all the closed shops. We're gonna head to our gate now and enjoy before our flight. I don't have my thing. Hello. Okay. A little pillow. We made it to Rome. Now we are going to go through the COVID test, customs, and our bags, and then that's it. So we'll see how long that takes. We have made it to Rome. How was the flight?
It was good.
It was good. It actually went by so fast. Like as soon as we had our 3rd glass of wine, we only had like 3.5 hours left. We're probably going to sleep on the car ride. We are going to the Amalfi Coast, but I just wanted to quickly go over how the situation was when we arrived into Rome. When you arrive into Rome, you're going to need to show your COVID registration, and then there's a line to basically get registered when you're in Rome. Thankfully, our flight, I believe, was the first flight that arrived into Rome this morning, so there was no line when we arrived in. So our process was so fast. I'm actually really surprised. That probably won't be the case for many, because once we landed, a lot of planes did land. So I'm assuming that if you are not the first flight, that whole situation will probably take like an hour to an hour and a half, I'm assuming. The first thing you do is you wait in line to get registered for your COVID test. Then you wait in a short line to get your test. You get tested, the results come back in 10 minutes. You'll get a piece of paper that says negative, most likely. And then you walk, then you take a tram to another terminal and you go through customs, and there was no line for that. And your bags are right after that. So for us, it only took 40 minutes for the whole process, which is really, really fast. So now we are waiting. We're so early. We're gonna just hang out in the airport until then. So overall, totally not a bad experience. Just get all your paperwork printed out and be organized. And it's honestly not even like a big deal. Very, very straightforward. Alright, so we have made it to Positano. thank you for watching my journey at the airport. I got some sleep. It's the next day. So overall, the airport experience was such a breeze. They did ask if you had a vaccine, just FYI, when you were at the airport. Straightforward. All you do is just go through the COVID test checkpoint where you sign in and then you wait in line for your COVID test. There was no one in line. The test took like 2 minutes. The results came back in 10 minutes. And then you go right to customs. And because everyone has to go through the COVID testing, the slowest part is getting registered to get your test. That is where you're going to be waiting in line the most. Once you get past that point, the testing and customs and getting your bag is very fast because everyone is kind of stuck back waiting in that line to get the COVID test. After that point, it's a breeze. You'll be walking through the airport, so it was really fast. And then we took a shuttle from Rome to Positano. That was 90 euros per person. And if you are headed to the Amalfi Coast, definitely check out a shuttle. It is a shared van. However, we were the only ones in the van, so it ended up being a private transfer for the price of a shared shuttle, which was amazing. And it was honestly the best way to get to the Amalfi Coast. I have done the trains to the Rome Termini station, Rome to Naples, Naples to Sorrento, and then a bus from Sorrento to Positano, and that takes a full day. So if you're not here for long, definitely just take the shared van, or better yet, a private transfer. It is a bit pricier, but you're gonna get here in no time. It only took us 3 hours to get here from the airport, and I highly recommend it. It's so nice. You can take a nap on the car. If you are interested in my Positano/Amalfi Coast vlogs, subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna be vlogging the entire trip, and it's gonna be a really great time. So I'll thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful. I tried to tape as much as I could at the airport, but obviously you can't really tape those things, so I did my best to share with you what it was like headed into Rome, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.